everybody. I am Karena Calhoun. And who are you, lady? What's your name?
I'm Lisa Marie.
Hey, Lisa Marie. So, we are two pink-haired ladies, as you can see.
That's right.
And so that's what we're calling these episodes, two pink-haired ladies. This is not something that we spent a lot of time trying to figure out. This just literally came naturally. So you're going to have some episodes of us talking. We're going to be talking business. We're going to be talking life. We want to bring to you authentic, real conversations.
Yes.
And so we don't have a set number of how many episodes we're going to bring.
Are
We're
you
doing
kidding?
good.
This is going to be ongoing forever.
Yeah, I mean, we have no idea. Like, when we say that this is literally from the heart, that's exactly what this is. And so, two pink-haired ladies. And the really kicker about this is I'm an introvert, Lisa Marie.
And I am not an introvert. If you know me, and even if you don't, I am Southern, I am sassy, and an introvert I am not. I'm like the extreme opposite.
Now, I will say this. I am Southern, I am sassy, and I am an introvert.
Right.
But, listen, and we wanted to be able to have these conversations so that you're able to glean from them and really begin to build out relationship. Both of us really believe in our hearts that relationship is key to business building.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And unfortunately, people want to have quick microwave conversations and think that that's what's going to do it. In some cases it will, some situations it will, but for the most part, we have to be about relationships. So today we're going to talk about, and I'm looking down at my notes because listen, when I say we're off the cuff in a lot of this stuff, it is what it is because we want to bring you the real and the raw. So we may cut up, we may do some laughing, and y'all are like, what are they laughing about? Lisa Marie made me snort just a few minutes ago.
I made her snort, and she then, when I actually said, when I said I made you snort, you're snorting, she went into some giggle fest worse than what she's doing right now. And she couldn't stop. I said, we're not going to be able to go live until you stop. And then we were both giggling. So, yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
And if you even want an idea of what it's like, you can go watch my podcast. I'm going to go ahead and put it in there, Cash and Sass, because we talk about kicking rocks. And I'm still giggling over that. People are like, why are you telling people that you talk about? Just go watch it or go listen to it. It's on YouTube and it's on the pod. Just go, you'll understand why she says what she said. But she put me into a giggle fit when she said that. And my tech guy was like, oh my goodness, y'all were laughing so bad. He's like, I didn't know what to think. I was like, well, did you hear what she said? He was like, yes, and y'all two are crazy. I was like, yes, we know.
I had a ball.
It was fun, but that's the whole point. Is I mean, how we met, right? We were in a group that was off Facebook. We met in a group, and it was building podcasts. Mm-hmm. And I wanted to start one. I hadn't started mine yet, and I don't know. I kept seeing you on there, and I saw your picture of your hair, and I was like, I said, I want to ask her a question. And I don't even remember what it was, but I connected with you. Actually, I messaged you on Facebook because I couldn't figure out how to message you in that portal. I figured it out afterwards, but it annoyed me. So I messaged you on Facebook. And you immediately knew who I was. And we just started talking. And she's like, you've got pink hair like I do. And that was it. And we've been talking ever since. We've helped each other. We've given each other, business advice. We learned more about each other. And what I love about it is we're the same and we're different. And I've said this before. You don't curse. I sometimes do. I don't use it as a vulgar way and a mean way. And she knows that. She knows I'm very genuine. And we try to make sure we're still respecting each other and being respectful of that. Like earlier when she kept freezing, I kept trying to say a word. I was like, okay, I can't. If I say that, that might offend her. And she was laughing at me because I was like, okay, you're frozen as hiatus. And hiatus is not the word I wanted to use, just for the record.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, you're completely frozen. All I see is necklace and lips.
Oh my goodness.
Not the word I wanted to use, just for the record. And we can laugh about it. She wasn't offended that, and I was being respectful, but we were laughing about the fact that I was trying to find a word, which is kind of funny because then I was able to find it, right? My brain started thinking about another word I could use. We both found it, and that's the connection. At least to me, that's what, respecting introverts and respecting extroverts. And for the record, I'm an extrovert who still needs time to myself sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And I thrive off of other people. And for some reason, I don't know why. I've even said this to Karena. I was like, I don't understand. I end up being friends, like becoming best buddies with people who are introverts. And I don't understand why, because I'm not an introvert. Because, and I've had to learn, I've had to learn to respect the fact that they have their time and now you need to go away because they're telling you in the nicest way possible, please go away. I need time to myself. And I've had to learn that it's not that they don't want to be with me. It's just that they need to digress, right? They need to have that time. And I've told you thousands of times, why am and I don't know. I don't know if it's because maybe we equal each other out somehow.
Well, we actually had that conversation very early on. We set those parameters, those boundaries, and I made it very clear to you that when I do go away, when I do walk away and I say, hey, listen, I need you to go away, it's nothing personal. Excuse me, it's nothing against you. There's nothing you've done wrong or said wrong or anything like that. It's just how I process that human interaction. It literally has nothing to do with you other than you're a human being. I love you. I want to be around you. I want to talk to you. But that's just how I process that experience. And I know that there are times where, we've exchanged personal cell phone numbers.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times when we'll text, excuse me, and, it could be a conversation literally all day long, but it's through text. And that's a way of you respecting that boundary for me, because it could have very well been a 20-minute phone call conversation. But because you understand that, okay, this person wants to talk to me and can talk to me, text works better. And it's probably going to be a better conversation if it's through text. And I just really believe if more people understood that, because I get people saying all the time, hey, Karena, can you give me a call? Hey, can you give me a call? But if you understood, excuse me, you got me laughing so much. But if we understood how people, experience people, especially in that way as an introvert, then the conversations that we could have would be so amazing.
Well, and not only that, but also just respecting people, period. I'm an extrovert, but I've got 2 kids and run a business and have a podcast, which is like another baby altogether. Oh my goodness, why didn't you tell me this was so much work?
I know, right?
You did not warn me that it was going to be like birthing another baby and having another child, and holy crap.
Listen, I'm going to say this. I'm going to say this about that. When you do something that is from your heart, it's going to be just like birthing another baby, just like when you started your business, whether it's a podcast, a blog, a newsletter, whatever it is. And so I'm really happy to hear that it was like birthing another baby, because that means it's 100% authentic and genuine. And this is something that you really should have been doing.
Mm-hmm.
And that's really how I sum that up, because there's some people that are like, honey, it's just too much. I can't do it. Then you probably wasn't meant to do it. I mean, I'm just going to be
I'm
honest.
glad I'm glad I waited.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason why I waited is because um, God, the source, universe, whoever it is you believe in, knew it wasn't the time.
Mm-hmm.
Because I knew I wanted one, but I didn't know what it was I wanted to be different. And I wasn't sure where that was until late last year. And then when I was going through that big shift and someone was asking me some questions, I was like, we just need to start having these candid conversations about money. And she goes, honey, you need to write that down. And I went, huh?
Yeah.
And she was like, candid conversations, you need to write that down. That is what you need to be doing. If that's because I mean, I was like, I went off on it and like a little tangent almost. And she was like, that's what you need to be talking about. And it just went from there. And then because of the shifts in my business I've been making and the rebirthing and all that, we delayed it until February, but I'm so glad I did because it's taken off like I could have never imagined. And it's been like birthing a baby and taking care of a child. I mean, like another child altogether. And I'm having fun and I'm loving it. And I know this is what I was meant to do. I was meant to be talking more and doing more voice. And I'm like, why have I not been doing this all along? Because remember, I told you, writing posts and stuff like that is a little bit harder for me, but talking about my expertise and money and all that, it comes so easily. And I'm like, why have I not been doing this? And it was just like a light bulb went off. And yeah, it's like having another child. But, if we were to respect each other and say, like someone says, hey, I've told somebody else it would be better for us to talk via text, especially during the week. It's just crazy. It's better. They don't want to have anything to do with them. They don't want to have a conversation with me unless they can talk on the phone. I'm like, okay, well, this is just not happening. It's easier for me to be able to carry on a conversation, especially during the week. I mean, you and I carried on a long conversation for I don't know, probably about 3 hours. It
Yep.
could have probably been a 20-minute conversation. And we both run a business. Yes, you're an introvert, and we both run a business. We both have other responsibilities. And sometimes just talking on the phone doesn't work, right?
Yeah.
I wanted to have a coffee chat with someone and I wanted to do it via Zoom. And she's like, I reserve my Zoom calls for my clients. I don't normally hop on a Zoom just to chat. Okay, guess what? That's you. I may not agree with it, okay, but I'm going to respect it. And I was like, oh, okay, well, then we can talk via Messenger, because she's like, we can get everything through Messenger. And I said, no, actually, I disagree. And I will still respect your boundaries. We just won't be having a conversation.
I think I had that same conversation with someone, I want to say last week, excuse me, and it may have been the same person. I don't know, but I just remember thinking, okay, that's great, because, even though, yes, as an introvert, and this is going to sound like contradiction, but as an introvert, when I get into business, there's certain things that when I'm, conducting like true business, there are certain things that I absolutely want to be able to do. And having that initial conversation, even if it is a coffee chat, I mean, I want to be able to have that interaction that is, at least virtually, but not through text message, because that could be anybody. I want to know that I'm talking to this individual. Now, if you're a client, we may go back and forth through the text, or, the voice or something like that, or email, but I don't know, there's just some things where I kind of draw the line. I know for myself as an introvert, I do a lot of coffee chats. I mean, but that's just the nature of how I am built. My specific, I guess you would say, view as an introvert. I love genuine conversations. I love meaningful conversations. So a lot of times people are shocked when they hear, when I say, hey, can we jump on a coffee chat? And then we get on a coffee chat and I'm not trying to sell them and I shut them down when they're trying to sell me, because it's a coffee chat. There should be no selling going on. loud and clear for those in the
It
back
shouldn't
that
be.
don't
There
hear that.
shouldn't be anything, right?
Yeah.
Well, and what I was, I was interested in what she had. I knew I wasn't going to make an investment right now. Um, Out there, I am wanting to create a wealth affirmation card deck. It's going to be wealth affirmations, and I want someone who's going to be able to design this for me, help me design it, and then let's produce it, and we're going to sell it, right? So I know this is a huge investment. However, if you're not willing to get on a coffee chat with me via Zoom so we can meet face to face for 15 minutes so that I can make sure our personalities mesh, and that's nothing against who's not willing to do that. And I know me, I want to know that we met, we're a good fit. I mean, you and I met virtually before we met in person. We talked several times virtually. So we knew as soon as we met. I mean, we were in a giggle fit the first time we went virtual together. And we knew that, you know what I mean? We knew we meshed. So us working together and us collaborating was it was immediate. It was profound, right? We know you and I have already said, we may not know exactly when, and we do know that we're going to be doing collaborations together. We do know that we're going to be creating things together. We've already said it. It's already been decided. And we know when the time is right, it's going to come together. But we both have said that that's going to happen, right? Exactly. How would we have known that if we wouldn't have actually met in person to make sure that we like each other?
But that's the key, though. That's the key.
And it's not agreeing with everything that you say either, right? Like, you know what I mean? We're different. We're the same and we're different. There's a lot of things that we're different about. And I think that's where I love the fact that you were saying you're an introvert and I'm not. There's a lot of similarities, and there's a lot of, where we're not the same. And we still get along and we mesh. We fit. Right. So why not have those 10, 15-minute conversations and keep your boundaries. Make sure it's only 15 minutes. Yeah. I mean, I've had to do that. I've had my end too. I've had to set a timer on my end to make sure I don't go over and to make sure they don't go over.
And people they respect you when you set those boundaries. And I want to bring this up. I had someone message me recently, just thinking about boundaries and things like that. They said, hey, I wanted to, we had already had a coffee chat and things like that, and had been talking in the DMs and, all of this stuff. And they said, hey, I want to present this offer to you. It's some kind of, something that you sell, I don't really know, maybe a product or something. I don't know. And they said, I don't know if you would be interested in this as another source of income. It wouldn't hurt to take a look. And I sat with that message. I mean, when I say I sat with it, and I had to be, I'm at the age, listen, I'm over 50. And you know what happens when you get over 50? It's like, you don't really care.
The filter goes away.
The filter is gone. So I said, actually it would hurt. It would hurt. It would hurt something. Because that is then going over the boundaries that I have set for myself, because I have a clear direction, a path that I'm going in. This is what I'm doing, and I'm not adding anything else. So to sit through your presentation crosses that boundary. And they were up in arms. They couldn't understand how that would be hurtful. It would be hurtful because it's crossing my boundaries. And so I'm saying all of this to say that knowing your specific boundaries and requiring that they are met, that no one crosses over them, and that you don't put yourself over them is so, so incredibly key, especially when we're building these relationships in business, in the entrepreneurial space. Because I see folks crossing them all the time, and I'm like, whoa, what are you thinking? No, that's not it. So whether you're an introvert, whether you're an extrovert, be mindful. I talked to someone one day and they said, um, and I have to pull myself back, to pull myself back. They said, yeah,
You?
yes. They said, I'm normally the person in the organization that people come to when they know that someone is an introvert and they need to pull them out of their shell. We're not turtles. We don't have shells.
That's the reason why you have me, an extrovert, as your sister, as your pink hair sister, because you need me to pull you out of your shell.
Pull us out of our shell. Come on, man. No.
Okay, when you think see, that means they're confusing introvert with someone who's shy.
Exactly.
And see, and I think that that's a misconception. I don't know why people think that shyness and someone being shy and someone being an introvert are the same thing, and they're not. A person who is shy, yes, you want to pull them out of their shell, because a person who's shy doesn't want to meet anybody. That's not an introvert.
Exactly.
And I just think it's funny.
Because listen, let me tell you, I'm not shy. By no stretch of the imagination. I'm not awkward. I'm not timid. I don't have
you're a little turtle inside a shell.
Like, all of these different things that people try to say is indicative of an introvert is wrong.
Yeah, because I mean, if you were shy, you wouldn't have said, "Hey, I'm going to be in Charlotte on such and such date. Who's going to be in the area?" Right. And then you even messaged me and you said, "Wait a minute, didn't you said, how close to Charlotte do you live, Lisa?" And I was like, "Honey, I'm like an hour and a half. Like, I'm an hour and 15 minutes from the airport. So depending on what side of Charlotte, I'm within 2 hours. Why?" And you told me where you were going to be. I was like, "Oh, okay, I'm there. Like, what day?" And then we were worried it wasn't going to mesh, right? And then it did. And I told her she needed to know how much I loved her, because I don't like driving in a lot of traffic.
And listen, I used to live in Charlotte, so I can attest, when I lived there over 10 years ago, it was bad. Now going to visit, it is even, I'm going to use a word that doesn't even, it was badder.
Badder, because she does.
It was worse. I'm like, oh my goodness. So
I'm gonna say it. It was like driving through hell, okay? Because oh my gosh, I got there and I told her, "You need to understand what I just went through." I was like, because the time limit expanded by like 15-20 minutes, because it was bumper to bumper. I'm like, and it was the middle of the day. It wasn't even. It was on a Sunday or Saturday.
Maybe a Thursday?
Yeah, it was Friday? In the middle of the week. And it was in the middle of the week. And it was during work hours. I even told her, I said, "Where are these people coming from?" It was like there was school wasn't out.
1 o'clock in the afternoon.
None of that.
Like, what are y'all doing? Y'all don't have jobs? Like,
I was like, why are these people all on the road? But again, I got there, you were doing a live in your group, giving the freebie away, and you stopped long enough for us to hug, like we were long lost friends and we hadn't seen each other in years. And it was the first time we were meeting in person. Yep. And I think that people need to realize that's not shyness.
It's not.
I have family members who are shy. Mm-hmm. Okay. And that's, yes, pulling them out of shell, but there's a difference between being an introvert and being shy.
Exactly.
Shy person, yes, you're wanting to pull them out of their shell and get them to meet people. That's not what an introvert is.
Yeah. So I just really, I don't know.
Y'all introverts like people. They just like us in small doses.
Exactly. That's really literally what it is. That's literally what it is.
I love you, but I only love you in small doses, so you need to please go
And
away.
even with my daughter is 26. And for instance, I was in, well, you don't know, but I was in North Carolina back in March, and I stayed at her place, and we left there and then went to Atlanta and then stayed there for a couple of days and then came back to North Carolina, and I stayed at her place. But when we were there, I was upstairs in my room. So it's nothing personal against any specific person. This is my own flesh and blood, my seed. Even when I was raising her, when she was a kid, she would be in her room, I'd be in my room. She might come in. I kid you not, this kid would come in my room, bring her blanket and her pillow, lay down on my floor, would not say a word, be on her phone watching TV. I'd be watching TV. She'd stay in there for a couple of hours and then she'd leave out. How many words do you think we would say? Maybe 2 or 3. But that's how she's an introvert. I'm an introvert. So it's nothing personal against a specific person. It's just how we process human interaction. If we could sit in a room with a bunch of folks and they don't say anything, that would be so amazing for us.
Yeah, so it's not the people, it's the interaction. Like,
yes,
it's only so much interaction you can take.
Yeah, like my husband and I, every single day we have alone time. When I say alone time, I mean alone from each other. Every single day, and we've been doing this for years, and I can't tell you how it helps. He goes and has his alone time. I go and have my alone time. And then we come back together and we're fine. And we're not beefing. We're not arguing. We have to have that. But now I can tell you, we'll sit in the same room for hours at a time and not say a word. We're not beefing. We're not mad at each other. There's no argument, nothing like that. That's just how we process. Now, we do have moments where he's probably thinking, will this lady please stop talking? And I have the same moments, because we get in our moments where, we're like talking a mile a minute, whatever the case may be. But
right.
Introverts we're just absolutely misunderstood. There's a lot of teaching that I've seen in the last 60 days that is just absolutely incorrect. And I'm like, what are y'all thinking? We're not any of this negative stuff. So that was really, we really wanted to have this genuine conversation just to open up this conversation dynamic between the two pink-haired ladies, the sisters, and just really be able to have these conversations and let you all know, you're going to be seeing more of us. Do we have a set schedule? No, not right now. We're going to be very honest with you, because this is something that we're bringing from our heart. Okay. We're bringing this from our heart. It's service-based, service heart-based, because we want to have these conversations, bring you all into the conversation by, drop your thoughts and your feedback in the comments. What are some things that were like aha moments for you? What are some things that maybe you didn't know that you're like, oh, wait a minute, I didn't even consider that. Maybe you learned something. Maybe it's something that you want some additional explanation on. You have comments on it.
Right. And even, you know what? I would love to hear you two pink-haired ladies talk about this or discuss this or ask a question. Ask it. Because what we're going to do is we're going to see it, and then I'm going to grab it because I'm just OCD on my organization. Or if she gets it, she'll send it to me, and then I'm going to put it in a thing, and we're going to have it so that we can make it part of the schedule. Because the reason why we're saying we don't have a set schedule yet is because, again, we're both entrepreneurs and we both have made some shifts in our business.
Yep.
And when we make those shifts and this up leveling, you end up having a little bit more work. You end up being a little bit busier. And then we have a house, we have life, we have kids, we have other responsibilities. And when we were looking at trying to do a set schedule, it wasn't meshing. We knew we meshed. The schedule just wasn't meshing. So we were like, you know what? Let's just do this and we'll figure the schedule out later. Let's just get it started, because we really, really wanted to do it. So, that's why there won't be a set schedule. And I can promise you, I am the type of person who will stay on top of her to make sure that we record, that we get these out there, and that we're doing them at least somewhat consistently,
Yes.
until we can have a set schedule.
Mhm.
Because I'm all about schedules.
Yes.
But again, that's just because, even as an extrovert, me having a schedule makes my life easier and more simpler and easier to navigate, right? There'll be people who'll look at my calendar and they're going, oh my gosh, that gives me anxiety. And I'm like, why? And they're like, because it's all different colors. And I'm like, yes, but if I had all one color, do you realize what kind of headache that gave me trying to figure out what was what? I was like, I have a color for my girls, I have a color for my personal stuff, then I have a color for my client calls, and then I have a color. So I'm able to look, right? I was able to look at today, and I had 3 green, and then I had a different color for us because we weren't a podcast. Those 3 teal greens told me I was recording 3 podcasts today. I didn't have to look at the information. I could tell by the color.
Yep.
That organizes my day, my week. So it's all color coordinated.
And, maybe we should have a conversation about that at some point. Maybe add that to the list, because I know for myself, I'm the same way. We
talked about that. You're color coordinated too with your calendar.
Yeah, I have to be, because like you said, I don't need to know who it is that I'm recording with. I just need to know I have X amount of podcast recordings today. I need to know that I have X
my clients are a specific color.
Right.
So when I look at the day, I'm like, okay, I'm doing 2 client calls today, and then they'll be blue and it'll say Heather. That means Heather has an appointment. It's something about Heather. Heather's doing, so Heather and Kinsey are dark blue. And so when it's pertaining to them, I just write I have their name, dash, and then what it is. And so that immediately tells me there's something going on with them, appointment or karate or, whatever it is they're doing. But yeah, having color, oh my gosh, do you know what it had to, if it was all one color, I'd have to literally, I don't have time for all that.
Yeah, that's too much. So before we end, I did want for both of us to just kind of quickly talk, and this was not planned. I just thought about this.
Oh,
but I know
she loves doing this.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
But just talk about, is there something that, like, do you have an event, maybe your episode coming? Do you have a resource that you want people to grab? Something, anything. How can they get in touch with you? Something.
Okay. So I'm still in the middle of the big shift. My deep dive is about to launch, and my new 101. So there'll be only 2 ways to work with me one-on-one. So it's going to be the Crew 101, which is create, retain, expand wealth. And then my deep dive days. And then I do have a new free offer coming out. It's the Money Story Start Guide. I'm finalizing it. So it should be available first of next week. In the next week or so. I will say that I am speaking at an event. Make sure you check. Yes. It's a virtual summit, and make sure you keep your eyes peeled on my page on Facebook. You can find me at Lisa Marie SWC. I am one of the keynote speakers, and the summit is called Spark of Hope. And y'all, it is $69 to go. Like, the lady who is running this has made this super, super affordable for a reason. And it's called Spark of Hope because we want to provide hope. And again, she's made it super reasonable. There's 21 of us speaking.
Wow.
And all of us are offering what we call VIP top shelf offers. Minimum value is $500. And they're free for the ones who come and attend the summit. So the value, my talk is 5 codes to being a wealth queen. And I'm going to talk about the five different codes and utilizing them to be being a wealth queen. And then my top shelf offer is how we make sure those are aligned with our core values. And it's a 3-week workshop. So
I love it.
yeah.
Yes.
But you can find me at thesassywealthcoach.com and on all the social medias. And you can check out my podcast, Cash and Sass. And if you want to be on the show, reach out to me, because again, you don't have to have, I'd like you to be an entrepreneur, and you don't have to be a financial person or anything like that. Karena was on it. She's not a financial planner. I've had life coaches on there. I've had all sorts. The one I did today, I'll be honest, I didn't know how well that would turn out. Oh my gosh, I had so much fun with him. His name is Joey, and he created the SMT, and you'll have to go listen to the podcast once it goes live to understand it. But he and I were aligned, and y'all, he was from South Carolina. He lives here in South Carolina. The first person on my show that was from the same state as me. Do you know how excited I got over that?
I bet.
And he was like, wait a minute, where in South Carolina are you? And I said, he goes, I'm on the north of this. And he was explaining, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait, are you saying you're in South Carolina? That was literally, I was not understanding at first what he was trying to tell me. But he lives in the northern part of South Carolina, where they actually sometimes can get 8 inches of snow. And I looked at him, I went, no. No.
Oh my goodness.
He was like, what? He goes, well, I'm from Detroit. And I was like, okay, great. No.
Keep your snow, buddy.
That's what I did. I said, you can keep your snow. I don't want it.
Wow. Well, about me. So you can find me at gobegreatcoaching.com, gobegreatcoaching.com. And right now you can actually go there and get my roadmap. And I love my roadmap because these are literally steps and strategies that I use in my business with my own clients. So this is I'm giving you, a lot of people say, don't give the farm away. I'm giving you the farm. I'm giving you the farm. And these are 5 steps that you can take, easy steps that you can take. I'm not even going to say easy. They're effective. Okay. But they will begin to help you build your business with ease. And it is, I call it the ultimate Introverts client attraction roadmap. And so it's going to help you really move into and navigate from client attraction all the way to sales. And so you can grab that off of my website, click the menu button up at the top where it says roadmap, copy one, and you're good to go. Mm-hmm. So that's all I have about me. So I know the next time we come to you all, we're going to be talking about mindset, money mindset, and really
my favorite subject.
I know, right? The mindset that you need to build a business, to build your business. And one of the things that we're going to be talking about really is if you've already built your business, but you built it without this mindset, we're going to talk about, and when I say me, it's primarily going to be Lisa Marie.
No, you're right. You have views on it too. We've had this discussion before.
I know. But we're going to be talking about how you can begin to cultivate this money mindset, because you really need to have it in order to be successful in business. If you don't, we're not going to say that you can't be successful, but you won't be as successful as you deserve to be. And that right there is a mindset shift, just so that you know, for some. Okay.
Yeah.
So we will see you all the next time. Thank you so very much. And bye for now.